1015 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey, it's Mother's Day. No better thing that correlates with mothers than professional wrestling, right, guys?
Sure.
But happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, past, present, and future. Hope you're having a terrific morning. We are, of course, the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 1015 FM, 720 AM. It's the show so nice it's getting played twice. The best in professional wrestling news and entertainment. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us today. And, of course, ever always joined by a couple of crazies. Captain Coral, he is Andrew Fish Fain. What's going on, buddy?
Just another Sunday.
It's just another Sunday.
Yeah. Another premium live event.
Yes, it's premium live event day. Come on, get up, man. Get excited. No? Nothing? No?
No.
All right, that's fine. Well, another guy who had a live event of his own last night for future stars of wrestling here in Las Vegas, our good friend Joe DeFalco. Joe, how are you?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, you two are going to be peppy today. Oh, this is going to be a blast.
You know, that sciatica is acting up, so it's like, I'm trying to lay here comfortably on my bed, but it's just uncomfortable.
There is no comfortable position when you have sciatica acting up.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, how was the show last night?
It was all right. It was, one of our smaller events where we call it Future Shock, so we try to get a lot of the younger talent who may not be ready for the big shows. So, sometimes it's a little more hit or miss. But we definitely do have some diamonds in the rough that we, really, really like moving forward. A couple guys out of Arizona that, were helped trained by guys like Hammerstone and things like that. So the future is definitely bright. But, right now we're moving forward. AEW weekend's coming up soon, and we've locked in the Impact World Champion on our show that whole weekend. The new Impact Tag Team Champions are going to be at the Silver Nugget, so we got a lot of the biggest names in wrestling going to be performing for us. We're excited.
Anyone stand out special from last night's show?
Yeah, there's one kid, his name's Blair Brody, and it's funny, when the Arizona crew comes, these guys, they show up even when they're not booked to help out, and if a spot comes up, and this kid, showed up, we didn't have a spot for him, and then we were talking about doing a Future Shock, and everybody kind of put him over, and he's really been the guy that's, shined the most, so... we see a real bright future, for the kid who's only been doing it for about a year. Another guy out of Rikishi School who was recommended by Toa Leona, who's now signed with Ring of Honor, who was our tag team champion, and this kid, AJ Mana, and Polynesian kid, the Samoan Shooter. And, we see some good things with him, too.
Oh, very cool. So, well, congratulations on another fun show last night, Joe. Way to go. And, of course, man, I'll tell you, it's going to be...
of course, our 15-year-old prodigy, so Bodie, 15 years old, 7-year veteran.
7-year veteran. Wow.
Started 8 years old in the kids' class.
Nice. That's how you do. Get them young. Get them young.
And he was doing 450 splashes when he was 9.
Yeah, that's his big move, the 450.
That's scary. But that's awesome. Good for him. Well, boy, I'll tell you, kind of a lot of little stuff going on. Of course, and we're getting ready for WrestleMania Backlash.
I hate
tonight.
That is just the dumbest name for it's like extremely lazy.
Yeah.
Just call it Backlash.
Yeah.
I don't think you need the WrestleMania title. If they're trying to capitalize on the fact that it was WrestleMania was the last main event or last premium live event, it doesn't need it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but in their eyes it does because less people watch it. So, some people are slow. So when they hear WrestleMania Backlash, all they hear is, oh, it must be WrestleMania. So we got to watch it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, we'll get our predictions in for that show later on in the episode. But I'll tell you what, I got to talk with Pat Casal last night on the show a little bit that we did this last night about the WWE earnings report. 10 people just lost their jobs because of quote-unquote budget cuts. But does WWE really need budget cuts after a 27% jump from last year?
That's how they get the 27% jump is by making budget cuts.
Maybe they should use a different term, but getting rid of guys that you don't need is how business works. Just because you make more money, you know what I mean? It's like, so baseball's making more money, so they should just add 5 more people to the roster.
No, exactly. Getting rid of people that you don't use is just smart business.
Oh, absolutely. I have no problem with it.
WWE's done that for years with Heath Slater keeping a job to feed his family.
I got kids.
He's got kids. 27% increase in first quarter revenue to $334 million. Net income of $66.1 million.
And that's without basically doing house shows anymore. How crazy is that?
Right. A lot of deals got signed. They signed a deal with A&E Network. They re-upped that to do all their different shows that they have on there. A new broadcasting deal with MBC Group to air live events, episodes of Raw and SmackDown, additional content. Also did a deal with Fanatics to do NFT trading cards, e-commerce, and licensed merchandise. That had a $27 billion valuation to it. Wow. WWE is just, it's like they're miners. They're just finding gold nuggets everywhere to make money.
I would venture to guess if you look at the AEW earnings report, no matter how popular they are, they're probably still losing money.
There's no doubt. I don't know how they can make money.
So that's why the threat of AEW has not pushed WWE to become better yet, because there is no threat of AEW.
It's just a different version of the Dixie Carter Impact, where it was like, we have a lot of money and we're going to spend it. AEW happens to just have a revenue stream from TNT, but from when we heard early on, the deal was more contingent on them getting, sponsors, not like, hey, we're going to give you $50 million a week,
right?
Type of thing.
And their viewership, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, dropped to it was 875,000.
No, they got beat by NBA was taken away from that too. So
that barely pays Chris Jericho's salary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
they were still the 4th highest show on cable that night, behind 3 NBA games. It's amazing how, even though we bust on the WWE product on TV a lot, but at the same time they're still the top show. And wrestling, AEW, at least with Dynamite, is still consistently one of the top 5 shows.
But the only way WWE is going to get better is when that bottom line shrinks. If that bottom line starts to shrink, the product will get better. There's no need for him to get better. Vince, I had one of my greatest earning quarters I've ever had. Why do I need to change anything that I'm doing?
Exactly.
My greatest earning quarter was the pandemic. So
that's amazing. Really?
Yeah, all that pandemic money came in. I got to close the school, not have to pay rent, and then they gave me money. And then they gave my wife money.
That's a pretty good quarter.
Yeah, it was a great quarter. I got new furniture. I got a lease on a Camry instead of my crappy Hyundai. It was the best 6 months I had earnings wise in years.
Unbelievable. Well, and it seems like everybody's making money right now too, because the AEW New Japan show sold out completely. So that one is, I mean, that is amazing to me. I mean,
well,
yeah,
they sold out the tickets they released, and from what we understand, they didn't release 95% of the tickets. So,
well, they did a pre-sale. They sold 11,000 on Thursday, and then they released the rest of them, and they all went poof too. So, 14,000 ticket sales. So, tell you the wrestling industry is healthy. It really is. It's doing great, and people and other companies are finding out.
But if AEW is losing money, how healthy is it? They can't continually lose money. At some point, they have to start making a profit, or the company's going to fold.
Well, I'd like to see their books. I mean, I think they haven't really put that out. I mean, it's not a publicly traded company, so
I don't think one has to do with the other. It is healthy because the way you say it's healthy is, well, people go to the events, and there was no company in the last 25 years that could run an event other than WWE that would draw 5, 10, 15,000 people. Now, whether that makes money or not doesn't have anything to do with the health of the business. It's healthy because all you could do is hope that you can sell out an arena.
No, I agree with that, but the point is, if they continually lose money, at some point they've got to stop. You can't continually run a business that only loses money.
Well, then you have to have budget cuts, as they say. With AEW, the thing is, you talk about all these guys and building stars. Well, Wardlow is not a star. Who's a star on AEW? Well, Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley. Oh, wait. All people that people perceive as WWE guys.
Right.
Adam Page is not a star.
Yeah, and I think one thing for AEW too is they, just getting started, they have a lot of opportunities to make money. At this point, they don't have a streaming service as an example,
right? But they're not,
and they're gonna, that at some point
they're not just getting started. They're 3 years old now. It started in 2019, so it's not just getting started anymore. A year is just getting started. They're now a 3 year. They've been around for 3 years. That's not just getting started anymore.
I would tend to this is kind of the year where you really get things rolling when you start a business. I mean, especially something like this. I mean, it's a huge endeavor. So give them time.
I don't see any growth between now and then, except they've probably upped the budget 10 times as what they did when they first started. So to me, it's stagnant. You look at the ratings, as they say, which, again, do the ratings really even matter anymore? How many people are watching a clip on YouTube or something else? You can't say, oh, well, they only had 540,000 people who watched it. But then if you go to the YouTube page, there's a MJF segment with CM Punk that had 7 million views. Well, on the 7 million views, it's monetized. They make good money. There's a lot of money in that YouTube revenue. We see from our end, and we have no reach, and we're making some money. There's thousands and thousands of dollars that WWE and AEW and even Ring of Honor made just from, a video when it makes, 1 million views, which is simple these days now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting business. So we'll see where everything goes. But of course, we're getting ready for Double or Nothing here too. Of course, that's all those tickets are gone. I don't know where the Dynamite and Rampage tapings are at this point on ticket sales. I'll have to look that up. But I just got my press credentials, so I'm excited. Going to get to run around down there and act like an idiot. Should be entertaining.
So nothing new.
Yeah. I'll just be marking out. It's all right. Of course, we also. I mean, there were just a bunch of little stories that happened this week, and Joe, I want to get your reaction to this one. Freddie Prinze Jr., the actor, of course,
former writer and producer for WWE,
wrote for WWE.
I just want to know where to send my resume. I'm ready.
He is planning to start his own promotion within the next 18 months. So Freddie Prinze Jr. is apparently going to be throwing his hat in the ring here. Your thoughts on a Freddie Prinze Jr. promotion starting up? either of you.
Well, why is that? Okay, great. My kid wants to start a wrestling promotion. So,
But I mean, I guess
I argue with him every day about it. Hey, I want to run a show, and it's like, who cares? Everybody wants to run a show. Freddie Prinze has money. Oh, I got money to run a show. Of course, you got money. You're in Hollywood. You were relatively successful. So just saying you want to run a promotion, EC3 and Braun Strowman run a promotion, and nobody cares. We got a TV deal. No, you don't. You got a deal that's going to stream online like every single minor league wrestling promotion. We have our own FSW network, and because we keep costs low, we only need a few hundred subscribers to turn a profit. And shockingly, we have that. And
it's not shockingly, Joe. You got a great promotion.
No, I understand that, but it's also, hidden between a lot of other big things that are going on, that having to have people outside of Las Vegas, do it. Believe me, it is surprising, but Freddie Prinze Jr., can he do it? Sure. He was a writer for WWE. Was he any good? We have no idea. But, he's already trying to pitch, which was tried and pitched a few years back here in Vegas. This guy, Bill Townsend. I had dinner with him and Shane Douglas, and Jake the Snake Roberts moved out here, and all these people were going to be involved because he felt bad that Road Warrior Animal and all these guys, after retirement, had no money. And, Vince left them high and dry, and it was like Vince paid them $1 million. If they blew all their money, that's not anybody else's fault. But we're going to get all these people in. We're going to do shows at the Rio, and we're going to do them every day, and these guys are going to get health insurance and blah, 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 blah. And this is going to start in 6 months, and now it's going to start in 12 months. Mm-hmm. Until it actually starts, anybody could say anything, and I don't believe it until it actually happens.
And if he wants to do it, I guess it depends on a few things. A, what level he's going for. Is he going for, he's obviously not going to go WWE or AEW level. Is he going to go Impact? Is he going to go, Future Stars of Wrestling level of where it's just newer guys? And B, who he knows that he's going to be able to lure into his promotion. Because I'm sure he has contacts, but if he has nobody, if he has wrestlers that nobody cares about, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, and I just don't. I mean, it's a well-known name behind a promotion, but I just don't, until you see something.
I don't even know if the name has value.
Yeah.
Does the name Freddie Prinze Jr. have value in the wrestling community that this guy is starting a company?
It does if his wife is like, the on the letterhead, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well, that is true.
There you go. All right, so
if she's going to be a valet, a.k.a. Sonny, I'm in.
There you go. See, it's Buffy Wrestling Federation, BWF.
Jeez. Well, it's funny you mentioned Sonny because, of course, we had reported that she had that little accident
where she killed somebody.
Yeah. Well, she has been officially arrested.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that on,
she's done.
She was arrested on Friday on 9 different charges.
Oof.
Yeah, 9 different charges. Could face 30 years in prison if convicted. Bond set at $200,000 for the manslaughter, DUI manslaughter charge, $27,500 for the other charges. So, boy,
Sonny is the new black.
Yeah,
somebody bailed her out. Sunny days for him.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so
I'm guessing it wasn't Shawn Michaels.
That was nice of Shawn Michaels.
Oh my goodness. Boy, where do you go from there? Anyway, but we did have some new champions crowned over the weekend. As let's see, we had over the week.
Big news.
Well, the Briscoes are now the Impact Tag Team Champions as they defeated Violent by Design on the Impact Under Siege show. That was the only title change on that show. But now the Briscoes lose the Ring of Honor championships, but win the Impact championships. Boy, everybody just loves the Briscoes.
It's getting, but to me, and this is now the problem, is it's all getting too convoluted. Are the Briscoes still part of Ring of Honor, which is part of AEW? And a part of Impact?
We think not, because Warner Media has an issue with a statement somebody made 8 years ago, but then they don't have an issue with a statement somebody else made 8 years ago. So,
yeah, that
statements. It's all statements. Can we just wipe? Can somebody come in? Can Elon Musk just come in and wipe Twitter clean and start anew?
There you go. That would be all right. But yeah, I mean, we're talking, we had Brian Kendrick got nailed, but of course we got CM Punk throwing his hat in the ring, getting in fights on Twitter and wearing abortion t-shirts on TV, which is, some people don't like. This is pretty interesting in terms of, what's forgivable and what's not, depending on your point of view. And, I feel bad for the Briscoes.
Who you are.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the Briscoes. I mean, what they said, what was said has been done and apologized for, and I think I'll let it go and just get these guys on AEW TV and let them roll.
Someone's always going to drag it up, though.
Just don't speak. That's my motto. I go on Facebook and I have to. I'm extremely aware of anything I say, write, joke, because everything's taken into the context that somebody wants to take it in, and I try to explain that to my guys. And it's like, other people who've done things, Adilo Brown, who's, the executive at Impact Wrestling, he'll come in and run a class, but the one thing he'll tell you is be careful what you say. Just an opinion leads into a fight with somebody. It may not be the opinion, but people, the big companies are looking at you on social media, and when you say an anti-homophobic message, it's going to stay with you the rest of your life, because nobody may see it, but somebody who's searching, that's all they do in their life, is they're going to try to pull something up, and it's so much easier, to get dirt on somebody that they can use, like the Brian Kendrick thing. Yeah, it was like, I get it, you apologize, but how stupid can you be to say it?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think that everybody, if they were smart, would just not touch all this stuff and just leave it alone and realize that you've got it.
But people can't stay off social media. They just can't.
Well, it's not a matter of staying off social media. It's a matter of not touching topics that are going to get people upset.
But some people, especially where the topic is divisive, have much stronger opinions because of their convictions, whatever they are, whether it be pro-abortion, anti-abortion, pro, whatever it is.
But you also...
And again, it's not just wrestling. I'm just look. Fred Savage got fired. Frank Langella got fired. Bill Murray, they stopped production on the movies. It's like, don't tell me Bill Murray at 75 years old, all of a sudden at this movie, he acted any differently than he did on the other 100 movies he made.
Yeah, it's just getting a little out of hand. But like I said, I think the best advice is just stay away from it and realize that you're an entertainer and you need to kind of stay in that.
You need to stay in the middle
and stay in that mode and not upset people, because the last thing you want to do is draw controversy to your company.
Because no matter what you say, no matter one thing you say, there will be somebody who'll be upset or pissed off about it. They used to joke about how a Derek Jeter, a Tom Brady, they never really answered questions. And that's exactly why. They were smart. They just took the route of generic yes, no, and this is how it is. And it didn't get into an elaborate thing because, again, looking at it, even in that, the Hall of Fame or whatever, people don't get in. Why? Oh, guy was great. Oh, but he was a jerk, and he's not getting in because
that's why Jeff Kent isn't in the Baseball Hall of Fame, because nobody liked him.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Well, and before we're going to be heading to break here shortly, but I did want to mention real quick too on another title change that Mercedes Martinez has unified the Ring of Honor titles. She is now the women's champion, winning that on Dynamite.
Oh, thank goodness!
On Wednesday night that was a dead crowd.
I was losing sleep about that. I'm so glad it's unified.
But Deonna Purrazzo didn't have a good week. Lost on Impact and lost that match too. So So tough break for
Don't
Deonna
forget
Purrazzo.
the next AEW Champions pay-per-view. It's going to be 6 shows long because there's going to be 47 title matches.
I know. It'll be crazy. All right, well, everybody, hey, stick around. We're going to be right back with more on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM. Stick around. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that's me. They let me out of that booth every once in a while to do stuff like this. It's kind of scary, isn't it? No? No, thanks. Fish, your pause reactions have been spot on today. It's been amazing. See, there you go again. Oh, my God. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us on the Mark Hoke Show. Andrew Fish Fain, who, of course, by the way, if you love sports, Andrew Fish Fain will, of course, be on SportsX Radio. He does it every Monday night with his partner, Chips. So check that out. 8 p.m. Pacific time here on KDWN. And
Fish and chips.
They call me Malt Vinegar as I produce their show. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I suppose it's better.
It just is.
It's better than tartar sauce. And, of course, if you want to check out what Joe DeFalco has going on with
Which
features.
is generally much better than fish and chips.
If you want to check out what Joe's got going on, future stars of wrestling, of course, great events that he's putting on all the time. Plus, if you want to learn to be a wrestler, I don't know if there's a better place to go. I really don't.
Am I too old to learn to be a wrestler, Joe?
I'll tell you what, man, look at all these people. Chris Bay and Killer Cross and Zoe Stark and a man who many people said had the best match in NXT this year, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. So head on over and check out fswvegas.com and see what Joe's got going on. I mean, just a lot of cool stuff. Like Joe has these seminars all the time too, which I've got to, if I wasn't down here and working all the time, but one of these days I'm going to get down to one just to check it out.
Yeah,
So,
we're hoping to have either Jay Lethal or Davey Richards AEW weekend to do a seminar.
there you go. So fswvegas.com, if you wouldn't mind. Now,
We're going to have How to Make It in the Business, trying to get a seminar with Tay Conti coming up also.
oh, wouldn't that be? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it.
Imagine
I'm
that
gonna be good.
feuding with somebody that doesn't even wrestle for the company.
Oh, wow. Kind of an uneventful week, I thought, generally for the TV shows. But one thing I want to ask you guys, if there's anything to read into on this. AJ Styles wrestled Damian Priest. Match is over. Of course, Edge hops in and they're beating up AJ Styles, and he's rescued by Finn Balor, of all people. Which you're kind of saying to yourself, well, why would Finn Balor do that? But at the end of the match, or end of the beatdown, and they cleared the ring, AJ and Finn did the too sweet. Now, I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but is there anything to that the Bullet Club too sweet thing pops up with AJ Styles and Finn Balor? Fish.
I think that if, depending on where they go with the Edge faction, whatever they're calling it, Judgment Day or whatever ridiculous name they have for it, if they see that it's going somewhere, that a rival faction started by AJ Styles and Finn Balor, a remaking of the Bullet Club, if you will, would absolutely be in the cards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
There's money on the table. They have to, because if they don't, then they might as well just get rid of Finn Balor, because that's the last semblance of possibly doing something with him. If they reform the Bullet Club, that's a big deal. So it's like they have it in their pocket, and putting Finn Balor with AJ Styles and doing a Bullet Club thing would be huge.
Do they hold the rights to the name Bullet Club? Is that still held by New Japan?
Yeah, New Japan still got that. But
okay.
But the other interesting part about that is the Gallows and Anderson, I believe their contract is either up or just about up in Impact. They may be available too.
But does WWE want to go down the Gallows-Anderson road again?
That is a good
think
question.
They're more AEW bound, those guys.
Yeah, but just throwing it out there, if you're doing a Bullet Club thing,
absolutely.
We already they teased doing it sort of with AJ working with them before, but now if you're getting into a stable war with Edge and Damian Priest and whoever else they bring in,
Rhea Ripley, Tommaso Ciampa,
now you might have a possibility to do something pretty cool there. So
and WWE seems to be going the way of the stable because now they have the bloodline. It's going to be very interesting if they do it correctly.
When Survivor Series come up?
November.
There you go. They got plenty of time to slow build the Bullet Club Survivor Series match.
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Morrisey, of course, was the mystery opponent for MJF's battle with Wardlow.
Wasn't much of a mystery, but
Morrisey looked pretty good. I have to say, he wrestled a pretty solid match. Fans were into it. They were giving him some Enzo crap, but he shut that down.
Is he still signed by Impact, or is he?
Yeah, he's still working with Impact, but apparently WWE was paying attention to it. They are supposedly, thinking about maybe bringing him in. Certainly a possibility for AEW, but I thought Morrissey looked pretty darn good.
I told you guys that a few months back when he was at Impact that I was extremely impressed, and I was never impressed with him as Big Cass when he first got the push. But when I saw him at Impact, I actually had a conversation with him. And from what I heard from other people, all the demons. He's really turned himself around, and physically he's in great shape, and he has some good matches there.
When a guy like that who's been gone for a while, if he were to come back to WWE, does he come back as Big Cass, or does he come back as?
Of course, he always does.
So you have to come back. I mean, not have to, but generally you come back as the name that you were before, even though your new following under the character that you've built up that has become better is under William Morrissey.
Nah, that has no following whatsoever.
Okay.
Like when he works on the independents, he doesn't go by Morrissey. You know what I mean? He goes by Cass XL or some terrible name.
Yeah, it was Cass XL that he.
Yeah, that Morrissey name is just something that was safe for
Impact,
for usage
right.
of Impact.
Right. So if he comes back though, so even if you've been gone years, because I know it's happened with Drew McIntyre, because he was Drew Galloway when he was in Impact, and he came back and he was Drew McIntyre again.
Right, and it was on the Indies. Like when we used him, he was Drew Galloway, which I guess was, the name he always used. But, that was back in the WWE days when we had to give you a different name. So McIntyre became, hey, can we get a list of Irish names? Oh, okay. Irish names? Oh, McIntyre. That's a good
we don't
one.
want to call him O'Shaughnessy, so...
why is O'Shaughnessy not in the WWE at this point? But
wasn't that Sheamus's name in the beginning?
Wow.
It might have been.
I got to do some research on that.
I think when he
and that's another faction. That's what I said. WWE's got that other faction of him and Ridge Holland and Butch.
Yeah, AEW's got a ton of factions too. So.
I got a perfect name for him. The Highlanders. There you go.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Might have to dodge a little copyright on that, but we'll see.
But maybe they'll be the Red Pool Fight Club.
Oh, stop it. But, by the way, in the factions thing is just real fast before we get into WrestleMania Backlash. In case you didn't hear, the Trios Championship in AEW, the belts are made. They've apparently just been waiting for Kenny Omega to get back. But apparently we're going to have a Trios Championship.
How many belts do you need? A belt loses all. When you have that many belts and titles, they lose all meaning.
Well, I'm just happy Tony Khan had enough money to get 3 belts made at once.
Oh, wow.
His dad's saying if the Jaguars sucked again this year, that he may have to lose a belt.
So bad. But
you might have to trade Trevor Lawrence now just to keep the budget right.
Yeah.
But your slight reference to the Blackpool Combat Club, that would be a good start if you're going to have a Trios Championship to have those 3 guys hold them. That wouldn't be bad. I even got Fish to raise an eyebrow on that.
No, because I would think you'd have Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good factions that this could be interesting titles if you do it right.
To put Miro, Mark Henry, and Christian on there.
Now let's do Miro, Mark Henry, and Captain Insano.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. See,
so basically, the Trios Championship is a 6-man tag,
right?
They're going to have the 8-man championship as well, just so you can,
and that is a stereotypical response. It is a 6-person tag.
Yeah, you never know.
My bad.
But it's funny because over the years there have been many experiments with a 6-man tag team championship. Ring of Honor had them for quite a while, but they've popped up all over the place at one point or another.
Just made the intergender tag team belts. So
I hope they stay away from that.
They're going to bring in the whole setups for Scorpio Sky to bring in his girl. That's how she's going to get on. It's all the work on Twitter for her to team up with Sky against Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, that got a little nasty, by the way. Scorpio said something that was a little bit mean about Tay Conti, and she fired back on Twitter.
That's why it's it's weird to me, because it's hard to believe it wouldn't be a work. Like, wouldn't somebody in AEW, like Tony Khan, say, "What are you doing? Pull that stuff now." Like, to me, if they're allowing it, there's got to be a reason for it. Right. I would think. It's like they can't be that insane to allow that to be out there.
I agree. It was a pretty nasty comment about Tay Conti apparently being friendly with the locker room, and we'll just leave it at that.
But again, sometimes the truth hurts.
Woo! Anyway, how about we get to WrestleMania Backlash on this, boys? We've got.
Do we have to? Can we do that next week?
No, we got to do it now because there's people that are relying on us to make money on this. Believe it or not.
Ronda Rousey still in the company?
Yeah, she is. She's in the main event of this thing. So let's break it down for you right now. Ooh, break it down. Sorry, almost started doing some DX chops on that. We have right now 6 matches on the card, a few of which you could care less about. This is not, in my opinion, one of the greatest WWE premium live events ever, but let's roll through it. Match number 1, Bobby Lashley, the former WWE champion, is facing off with Omos, MVP in the corner. And do you know who's the betting favorite on this? It's Omos. Minus 450 they've got him at. Lashley's a plus 275. Guys, 1, do you care? And 2, who wins?
No,
Fish?
And almost wins because it's typical WWE 50-50 booking.
All right. Joe, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, my thoughts are, it's like, again, why do we even have WrestleMania anymore when the matches right after that are going to be the same matches? It's just pathetic. It's pathetic that that's how much time and effort is put in with that company for them to pull out. And you bring in Bobby Lashley back to give him the signature victory at WrestleMania, and he can't even savor in it because now he's got to lose to the same goof a month later.
And I think this is, obviously it does look like Omos is going to win this match tonight, but God, it's just so bad for Lashley.
I don't know. So far, if I would have to take a shot on an underdog, I would have to take a shot on a Lashley. At plus 275 is a good number.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I just think it was a chance for WWE to end the Omos experiment. They didn't do it, and they've actually doubled down on it. So
it doesn't matter because after WrestleMania Backlash, they can have Omos win, but then Lashley win Monday. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where that goes. The feud that everyone's been waiting for. The Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss match as the boys broke up. It's so sad. Oh, yeah. Madcap Moss a minus 200. Happy Corbin a plus 135. By the way, these odds are from betonline.ag. That's where you
lock of the week right there. Madcap Moss, lock of the week.
Fish, are you on the Madcap Moss band? Are you feeling Madcap for the Moss Man?
Sure, why not?
As you can see, this is just one that nobody cares about.
No
one cares. But
there's only 1 or 2 matches on the entire card that I care about. So
but I will say this: it might not be a bad match. I mean, if you take everything else away and just focus on the wrestling, might be a decent match.
The problem is they won't take everything else away.
Well,
WWE is going to make it silly.
Just throwing it out there. I think once the bell rings, it could be okay to watch. It won't be. I don't think it'll be horrible. I'll stay there. AJ Styles and Edge. Of course, we're another WrestleMania rematch. Damian Priest is banned from ringside. Should be a good one.
This is one of the matches.
Ciampa comes out instead. All right.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. So the way Edge is going to win because someone else is going to come out and be a part of the faction to distract AJ Styles. So it's not going to be a clean win, but it's going to be a win.
No, Ciampa's going to come out. It seems like Edge is going to win, and then Finn Balor comes out because AJ Styles can't lose back-to-back WrestleMania matches.
Well, I hate to tell you, but the betting odds right now, this is the tightest one. Edge is a minus 155. AJ Styles a plus 115.
You know,
so
that
Edge is a slight
they
favorite.
haven't even figured out who's going to win.
Yeah, like I said, I think Edge wins, but only because it's not a clean win, because I think there's going to be a distraction. Finn Balor may indeed also come out, but...
How about a double DQ?
Don't be surprised with the schmaz. Don't be surprised with the schmaz in this one.
Joe loves the schmaz.
He does.
Joe, just to remind everybody, define a schmaz.
A schmaz is where there's really no concrete decision, count out, DQ, something to set up the Monday Night Raw tag match that they're going to have.
Exactly.
There you go. So I will go with Edge on this, but like anything could happen with this match.
Yeah.
The match of disappointment, I'm calling it. Drew McIntyre and RK Bro.
Oh, I thought you were going to call it the Ronda Rousey match.
No, I'm calling this the disappointment match against the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. Of course, we were teased with a tag team unification match between Randy Orton and Riddle and the Usos, but apparently WWE, according to Papa Meltzer, all along was planning to do a six-man match with this. Personally, I think they just got cold feet. But, guys, who you got on this one? The betting odds... McIntyre and RK Bro are a fairly heavy favorite, minus 300. Reigns and Usos plus 200. There's an underdog you might want to take a shot on.
No, I think McIntyre pins Reigns in this, and that's how it sets up McIntyre versus Reigns, because I pinned him in the six-man, so I've earned a title shot.
Joe?
There is no way in hell that Drew McIntyre is going to pin Roman Reigns in a random six-man tag to have that guy finally lose a match. I don't believe. I think one of the Usos has to take the pin and probably take the pin from a Drew McIntyre. That way it sets him up for the Roman Reigns match.
I kind of like Joe's thoughts on that. I do agree Drew McIntyre and RK Bro win this. And boy, RK Bro, those guys, I was not big on this team early, but man, they're fun.
That's because, and Randy is having the best time. I mean, he's always enjoyed wrestling, obviously, but I think he's having the best time of his career right now, just having fun with a character.
There you go.
He's having more fun now than when he used to crap in people's bags. So,
Absolutely. I knew that was coming back.
Oh, we're gonna make Joe start put money in the jar on that phrase. We've also got another WrestleMania rematch. It is
Dominic turning on Ray.
Stop. Both of you.
Eva Marie coming out.
Kill their mics, Lourdes. They're done. They're done. Anyway, we have another WrestleMania rematch. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins had a pretty good match at WrestleMania.
Card, man, that was unbelievable.
Cody is minus 300. Seth Rollins a plus 200. So Cody Rhodes the favorite here.
You can't have Cody Rhodes come back with the fanfare that he came back with, win at WrestleMania, and then lose at WrestleMania Backlash. I think Cody Rhodes wins again.
Wow, Joe, no 50-50 booking on this?
I hate to agree, but it's like, man, well, then why have the match again if Seth Rollins is just going to lose? What does it do for either guy?
Nothing. That's why this match makes no sense to have again, but you can't have Cody lose this match.
You know what, though? I have a feeling Seth Rollins gets this tonight.
If he does, that any momentum that you have building Cody Rhodes towards a championship match is completely gone.
Some sort of I think there's a massive screw job headed Cody Rhodes' way tonight, but I'm not going to be surprised if Seth gets this one. So.
Ezekiel comes out.
Goldust makes his long-awaited return and turns on Cody.
Oh,
here you go.
Why do you guys always breaking up the families?
How about this?
I mean,
though?
come on.
How about WWE rehires Damian Sandow to look like Elias, so you can have Elias and Ezekiel as a tag team.
See, now that I agree with.
I've been seeing that all over social media.
Yeah, I'm down. I'd love to see Damian Sandow come
I just
back.
can't wait for everybody to realize that Elias and Ezekiel are different, and it's like the Hebners. I'm telling you.
Wouldn't that be amazing if there wasn't actually a twin?
Can they CGI like two guys into a wrestling ring now?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Danny Davis is coming back.
Stop
Man,
it.
if they could do that, that would be amazing.
Oh, my God. Main event of WrestleMania
Body
Backlash.
Switch and Elias and Ezekiel beats Roman Reigns. That'd be over.
Wow, you guys are thinking way too much about Ezekiel. I'm just going to say that right now. You have Ezekiel on the mind. Main event of the night, it is Charlotte Flair. The SmackDown Women's Champion will be defending against former UFC champion Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match as a rematch from WrestleMania. Wow, Fish, you are shaking your head already. At least let me get the betting odds out before you rip this match. Ronda Rousey is a huge favorite tonight.
And she's winning. And it's probably not going to, but she's probably not going to get Charlotte to actually say I quit. Charlotte's going to like pass out from the pain or whatever, and that's how she's going to win.
Rousey is a minus 800, Charlotte Flair plus 450. Joe, do you agree with the assessment?
I'm telling you, I'm going to take the dog on this one because I'm thinking Ronda Rousey maybe signed that short-term contract, and basically she was just brought in to promote the legacy of a Charlotte Flair. And it's like the one crazy thing is when she came back, Rousey wins the Rumble. Has anybody been less interesting than her? Like, she was hot when she came in, and like I just don't see anything there anymore. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, whatever.
I do think Rousey's probably going to win tonight, but I do agree with you. I think there's a possibility you could see Charlotte get this win as well. I mean, I don't think this is a blowout betting
where
match.
She quits, the referee, something happens, and Charlotte Flair cracks her with the thing, and now Rousey's passed out, and that's how it ends.
Charlotte Flair.
I'm going to go get money and bet the plus 450.
Stop me if you heard this one before. Charlotte Flair has a recording of Ronda Rousey saying "I quit" and has it played over the PA system, so Ronda doesn't actually say it; it just plays.
There you go.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that too. That is a possibility. So that is your card tonight for WrestleMania Backlash. Of course, you'll be able to see that on.
And
Peacock.
you know you're going to get a bonus match.
God, I hope not.
And a pre-show match.
Yeah, something else will be.
Yeah, there's going to be a Kevin Owens. There's got to be a Kevin Owens Ezekiel type match coming up in the pre-show.
I just want that over with. I don't know why.
They probably just add that to the regular card. 6 matches is no way what they're going to do for the entire
Sami
show.
Zayn Shinsuke Nakamura match is probably in the cards.
Yeah.
How's your guy? I know you've been checking daily updates. How's your boy Rick Boogs doing?
It's still wearing the denim singlet.
Still wearing denim singlet. Well, you know, the Shinsuke actually wore that orange and yellow Mike's
jumpsuit,
hard iced tea outfit that they had for WrestleMania. So I don't know, maybe the hard lemonade iced tea or whatever the heck they're calling it. So Shinsuke has not given up the orange and yellow yet. So Boogs is probably still wearing the orange.
Boogs.
Yeah, we miss him. Yeah. Pat McAfee misses him too.
McAfee misses him more than anybody.
Oh, poor guy. He's just like, he wants to. Why doesn't McAfee play the guitar?
Big news, Willie Mack on that Impact.
Oh, yeah, we did see. That's right. Willie Mack was. He was. Who else got released there too? I know I saw somebody that got their walking papers from Impact. But yeah, and
Matt Cardona not at the show last night, by the way. Yeah. Speaking of which,
but and as we get ready to wrap things up here, got to mention Big E, who put out a update on himself. He is still going to be wearing a collar for another 4 to 6
that's
months.
horrible.
And he is his quote was, for those desirous of an update, my C1 apparently isn't healing optimally. I'll spend another 4 to 6 weeks in a brace in hopes that I can avoid a fusion, but don't you fret, I've got to turn the support system and what shall be,
done, man.
Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad.
It was Ridge Holland that did that to him, right?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, make sure they push that guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. So enjoy Backlash tonight. And want to thank Joe and Fish for being a part of the show again. Always enjoy it. Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.podbean.com, or all your favorite podcast outlets for all those past episodes. Myanmar joined the party. That's exciting.
Used to be Burma, I believe.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Las Vegas. We'll see you again here on The Mark Hoke Show on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Have a great day, everybody, and happy Mother's Day. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.